Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to MLB The Show 21. Live today with the Rockies spring training as we prepare for the fourth season of the series. I put out the off-season earlier this week and really didn't expect anything major to happen. I mean, I felt like we had already spent a lot of money, that we had a lot of big name players with big contracts, and there wouldn't be a lot of room to do much else. And then what happened? We made the move to bring in Rafael because for some reason there wasn't a ton of interest and teams were kind of lowballing him, and we ended up getting him for 2 years, $23 million, and really this could be looked back on in the future of the series. And we'll be asking, why didn't I offer like 5 years? And I didn't offer anything huge, mostly because I was just kind of scared to during the stream. I didn't want, or not the stream, but the recording. I wanted to try to be smart with the money. And it was kind of like a last minute thing in the off season. And like, oh, we could maybe make this happen. But nonetheless, 2 years with Rafael under contract. Really excited to see how this lineup plays this year. I mean, just take a look. We have turned this lineup over significantly. Brandon Nimmo, Brian Reynolds, to Rafi Devers, David Geronimo, the first draft pick of the series, Trey Turner, Ty France, Brendan Rodgers, and Dom Nunez, soon to be Johnny Schaefer. I usually default to our no DH lineup here because we're in the National League. Welcome to the stream, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. Friday afternoon, weekend is coming up. Now I have a reason to not be doing my class papers. Just get one sentence done before I start the next game. Make that your goal. Micro goals here. Kawhi, thank you for becoming a member for the 5th month. And speaking of members, next weekend after Thanksgiving is going to be the channel member live stream for November. And I feel like I just did the October one, but the months are flying by. And every month I do a live stream with the channel members. And we usually talk about things behind the scenes and plans for upcoming series and whatnot. And it's usually a really fun time where I tend to get extra gameplay for the Rockies. Last time I didn't as much, but it'll probably be the case this time. This man writes essays like SpongeBob. I've seen that episode not that long ago. I've been watching a little SpongeBob lately, you know. Gotta see how it still holds up. And I gotta say, especially the first few seasons, I mean, I think it's still really good. Anyone else getting some weird mic clipping? Shouldn't be. I mean, I have dialed in a lot of settings on here. It shouldn't be doing any clipping. How are the drafted players doing? So, oh man. I mean, for David Geronimo, it's gone really well. I mean, he was just Rookie of the Year and everything. But it goes a lot slower for most players. I mean, Geronimo was an elite prospect. And then you have at catcher Johnny Schaefer, who is also an elite prospect. I just think Schaefer might need some more time before he actually gets this call up, because of where his hitting is at right now. And I feel like he'll get there faster playing at AAA, and maybe he gets called up at some point this year. But right now he's not on the 40-man, and to get him there, I think I'd have to waive somebody, because I do have 40 players on the 40-man roster. If I were trying to make room for him, I would probably waive Diori, Borenstein, not sure who else. But probably those two would be the first two off of the active roster here. Might be a half year to a year away yet on Schaefer. And I want to do a better job here in the minor leagues, giving you a look at some other prospects. And this is like the first stream I've done for the series since last spring training. Like, I can do some more streams like just a AAA, AA stream to get some extra gameplay to supplement the episodes, I think would be really nice. What's going on, Sam? How you doing? Yeah. Falcons put up a baseball score last night, Cade, with nothing. Shut out by the Patriots. That was a real stinker. I feel like we need some more juice behind these primetime games. The beginning of the year was so good, and then I feel like it's kind of dropped off significantly. Yeah, Connor Joe is 32. He was, I want to say he was drafted in 2011, and it took him a long time to get his chance at the major leagues. I believe his age is correct. There are some players in franchise whose age is incorrect, like Tuki Toussaint's a couple years younger, I think, than he should be. In real life, yeah, Joe is like a few weeks older than me. He's 29. Kane, I am listening on my 10-hour drive home for Thanksgiving. That's quite the drive. I'll try to kill some of that time for you the best I can. So, we're going to get into some spring training action today, of course. But always, you know, I want to get the thumbnail up, and I have to get into a game to make it happen. So, I want to take you back to about 15, 20-ish minutes ago. Had to get a clip here of Rafi Devers. First chance with the Colorado Rockies. Facing Zach Gallen nonetheless. Our nemesis in this series. Can't figure this guy out. Well, we have one guy who now has, at least in an exhibition game. I mean, he left the curveball way up there. What do you expect is going to happen? Love it. So there's a little look at what Devers brings to the table. He hit 40 of those last year, a career best season, and still the contract, the free agent market for him was pretty weak. He does have a great swing. It is clean. Let's play some baseball now. Probably do a full game and then some player lock. See where it goes. What are my hitting settings? I will show you all my settings here in just a moment. I haven't watched any of the F1, no. I have not. I'd like to check it out sometime. Was the racing good? I think I'd be more into it than something like NASCAR.
Your 2024 Colorado Rockies.
How's the audio, by the way? I keep it intentionally pretty low on my end. But here are my hitting settings. I play on Hall of Fame difficulty. I have a custom view that's slightly tweaked fisheye 2, directional hitting, and then button input with no PCI, which makes the game a lot more rating based. And you might not like that sometimes your best swings will end up being, you know, misses or no contact or a pop-up. But I don't mind that just because I know it's due to ratings and variants, and I love the games that I get. I wouldn't change anything, really. Salazar into center, and we're underway with a quick line out. Audio sounds clean. That's what I like to hear. That's right, this A's team wasn't that good a year ago. I know we had one episode where, like, we had a bad loss to them, and then they just lost Matt Chapman and Matt Olson in free agency. So, Dansby Swanson batting second. Let's see if Dansby will chase the change. Not out there. All right, none of these two-strike pitches are all that competitive here. Look at that, just looks like a constellation there. They're just all over the place. 3-2. There's a good changeup. Strike 3. Much better. I don't know if we're going to see Schaefer, because if I call him up and I want to send him down, that burns up an option. But it feels like it's probably worth getting a look at him anyway, just because he's so close. And we know that he's likely not going to need all those options. And it's at catcher as well. Like, teams routinely just deal with a 200 hitting catcher if it comes down to it. And I don't think there's risk of that with Schaefer. I just want to do what's best for his development to becoming a high-level hitter. You know, I want him to be Salvador Perez.
Leading off for the Rockies, the right fielder, Brandon.
Ooh, Brandon Nimmo. Swing is so clean. I don't care that it's taken away. Perfect swing.
Batting second.
The classic pitching mode is the same thing from MLB 2K13. Yeah. Well, I know they introduced the pinpoint pitching that was kind of like what 2K used to do, which was a really cool mechanic. It's just more skill-based than ratings-based. And that's the same kind of deal with the meter. I wanted it to be more about the ratings and having to pitch more to players' strengths and not just worrying about if I'm having a good day with the meter. So we got Brian Reynolds back for his second year with the Rockies. Big trade to get him last season. It worked out perfectly for us. 2-1. Don't like it. Let's see if we get something good here. Nope. Reynolds will draw the walk, and here we go with Rafael Devers.
Batting third, the third baseman, Rafael.
I mean, what more do you want the guy to do? 41 homers a year ago, hitting 280, and all he gets in free agency is $11.5 million. There are some surprises in free agency here in MLB. Some on the low end, some on the high end. You know, like Kyle Hendricks had no market in free agency for a while, and then eventually a team just randomly offers $15 million a year, and he gets a deal. Oh my goodness! He's the MVP! It's not fair! He's not fair! I already simmed a game where he apparently had a home run. I showed you the clip earlier. This is gonna be fun. Devers, 50-plus homers playing in Coors, MVP for a playoff Rockies team. I think that becomes like the expectation. How many is this guy going to launch this year? This is the first time since having Trevor Story that we really have, I think, an elite power hitter.
Batting fourth, the left fielder, Jose.
Ooh, I got a good pitch there with Geronimo, but he bounces it to third base.
Batting fifth, the shortstop,
So right now I got Trey Turner batting fifth against righties, and then against lefties he will move up in the order and Nimmo will go down. But that might change a little bit. I'm just thinking right off the bat, you know, let's have him and Reynolds there at the top. Reynolds a switch hitter, so they'd have the platoon advantage against lefties. Ugh. 0-2. That first one, I can't believe that got a call. Let's see if I can contact swing my way around this. Nope, out in front. I appreciate the kind words, Alberto. I'm glad you're enjoying the baseball content. You know, after taking a year off of baseball content, it was really good to be back, and I truly love playing this game. As a franchise player, I mean, this game just does more for me than any other game. As far as having that true, like, the feeling I want from playing franchise.
number 22,
Oh boy. cracked into right center field. They've made some pretty good contact already. And that's going to be an RBI double. Yeah, trade logic. My issues with the show are all off field. Like on the field, I don't have that many complaints. But off the field, like franchise really needs some more attention, like trade logic. That's probably the big one for me. There's still some improvements they could do to free agency, but overall, I think free agency is, you know, solid with the dynamic interest and how things change based on the years and what kind of things you will promise players. That's through, and we're going to have the game tied up. Will I revisit Super Mega Baseball 3? You know, I don't know for this year because I want to say they've put out a new game every other year. And this would be like a year to have a release. Now, they were acquired by EA at some point, I think earlier this year. So they could be working on something entirely different now than a Super Mega Baseball game. And to me, you know, I'm guessing that EA wouldn't have acquired them if they didn't have something to do with MLB in mind. You know, because Metalhead on their own, an indie studio, probably wasn't going to be able to get the Major League license, but... And this is all speculation, but to me it's, you know, EA securing a really good game to inject the MLB license to finally have that as a part of their portfolio again. My only hope is that they don't touch anything on the gameplay front, because Super Mega Baseball has done so well, riding that difficult line between arcade and simulation with a fast pace that satisfies so many different crowds. Like, you know, I'm a sim head, and I love that game so much because it gives me enough simulation in there. There aren't a lot of strikeouts, and there are a few things that make it more arcadey, but I think if you play the game for a couple hours, you'd see how good of a baseball game it is. Scouting does need an overhaul. It feels a little light on just involvement in MLB, especially because you only do it for like 2 months. And then you make your picks and then it's over. What am I drinking? Water? Always. Although I'm getting some ginger ale for Thanksgiving. That's when I go a little crazy. Three and two from Grayson Rodriguez. Thank you. Right down the middle. Drilled to left center, and that is down. Ground rule double. No cashews. No, I just had some chicken a little bit ago. I'm feeling good. And then I'm gonna make some, gonna have some tamales tonight. That's gonna be fantastic. Ooh. When the breaking ball is up there, I mean, I gotta go after it. I don't care how high it is. I think the training needs some work as well. Feels a little simplistic, and I think there's a lot of potential. Like, there are things in Road to the Show that I think they could introduce into franchise in that regard. At least toy with the idea. Like, imagine if you could do some drills to focus on some players from time to time. Kind of like minicamp in the old Maddens back on the PS2. Just out in front. Well, tamales are fantastic, yeah. Let's see if Nunez can get the RBI here. Ooh, slider. I actually caught up to it pretty well. You're there, right? You're good, you're good, you're good. Yep. Oh, yeah, international signing stage. Like, that's big. International signings are really important. And it's not really covered in this game. You can draft players from other countries and whatnot, but the international signing period isn't a part of the show. Let's get Dallas Keuchel out there. I accidentally signed him. Let's hope I give him enough time to get warm. Let's see Zach Veen.
Your attention, please. Pinch hitting for the Rockies.
Real question, chicken or pork tamales? Well, I mean, I go with beef at any given opportunity. I don't know if I'd prefer chicken or pork, because I almost always have beef, but I did try some al pastor tacos from a Mexican place around here, and that was one of my only experiences really having pork, and I thought it was really good. So I'd probably go pork. Am I buying or excited for the new Pokemon games today? I haven't yet. I don't know if or when I will, because it doesn't seem like there's a lot of new stuff in there. And I've been working on a run in Platinum over the past few months, off and on. Because Gen 4 was just the gen I missed. And I don't know, I think I might just play Platinum, catch some streams, and see what it looks like.
Leading off for Oakland, the first baseman, Bobby Salazar.
I'm really looking forward to the Legends of Arceus game next year, more so. I think Gen 4 is just more nostalgic for others. I missed it, so a remake wouldn't be a bad way to experience it, but like I said, I have Platinum, so unless they change a lot of things, be basically buying the game to play it on TV at a newer platform. Would love to see a MrHurriicane out of the park baseball series. See, I tried the game out a couple years ago and thought it was really cool. I haven't played it since, but this year when it comes out, I definitely want to check it out again. Especially now that I've played more MLB franchise since then. There might still be a lot of things that I don't know much about, because the show doesn't cover everything, not even close. But I think I'm more prepared to dive into it now. There'll still be a lot of learning for me, though, in there, because you have, like, I'm pretty sure you have, like, rookie ball, and you just have all levels of the minor leagues, and there's just so much depth. Really want to see it this year. Is this at-bat going to end? Well, I'm putting them all in the same spot. Let's change it up here. You miss Ryan McMahon. We got Rafi Devers. We're fine.
The batter, number 10, second baseman.
Who do you want the Yankees to sign this year, Bengal? Are you wanting... I feel like everybody's trying to, like, mock them a shortstop. Who always gets, like, the attention there? I know Story, I think, at the deadline did. Yeah, Ryan McMahon had a negative 0.8 WAR for me last year, which feels pretty brutal. Basically saying that your 22 home runs mean nothing. Seager, high average, left-handed bat, yeah. Is it likely they're able to keep both Gallo and Rizzo? Because I'm pretty sure Gallo is a free agent. I'm not sure on Rizzo. Bang. What about Rougned Odor? I mean, he's a pretty good lefty. Isn't that enough? Gallo still got arbitration for a year. Gallo is after next. Rizzo is now. All right. So there'll be a market for Rizzo then. And they'll probably want to keep him. Braves haven't re-signed Freddie yet. I can't even picture. I mean, I know he does in this series play for the Nationals, but I really can't picture Freddie going somewhere else, especially after winning the championship. Yeah, I am from Minnesota, but I'm now very far away. I don't know about that one. That was a contact swing, too. I'm just trying to get a base hit. No specific reason for this other than the great content, as always. Can't wait for more Giants franchise. I appreciate the super chat, Mike. You don't have to wait long either. After the stream, I already got the video ready to go live. So once I'm done here, Giants is going up. Rizzo had a walkathon type deal the other day, and it was completely decorated with Yankees balloons and Yankees shirts. They'll probably come to a deal. I think the Yankees know how bad they need the left-handed bat. And just how lackluster the offense was before the moves.
Third baseman, Rafael.
I'm guessing they'll just want to keep the band together and then take a big swing at someone like Seager or Story. Oh, yeah. You want to trade for your brother, Matt Olson? I can't see the dude without thinking of you. Yikes. I've already hit 2 homers with Devers today, and we're just getting started, so let's see what's to come. I know. I don't know what the Rockies are going to do with Story. It doesn't seem like he's happy there at all, and they might just end up, offering, the qualifying offer and then getting somebody's second-round pick or however that works. I don't know if there was some delusion that they could come to an agreement, or if the offers were so weak they just wanted to stretch it out. Cowboys ruled out Amari Cooper for a game against KC. Oh, he's on the COVID list. Man, I just can't sit back on the breaking pitches. I can't do it. Oh, yeah, Correa's hitting the market. Man, the shortstop market this year is going to be bonkers. Is Bengal with you right now? I mean, I sure hope not. Oh, yeah, Gallup's back at least for them. He played last week. Not that I wouldn't want Bengal here, but I mean, if he's here just chilling out in my closet on chat, I mean, that's pretty good on him. Figure that out. Uh-oh. I can never time these up. Ooh, didn't have to anyway. Bengal and Kane online franchise rebuild series. See, I've thought something like that would be really cool. Some sort of like dueling perspectives inside of the same franchise. If it was something that could be done fairly quickly. Like to get a bunch of franchise rebuilders together and throw something together in a franchise. Dallas Keuchel, man. Calling it in 2 years, Schaefer is an all-star catcher. I like it, Jalen. There are a lot of really good catchers, I feel like, in the majors right now. There'd be a little bit of competition there. I think Will Smith would have been the best catcher from last year in the series, and he put together a really good season. If the NL adopts the DH, will I adjust that? I don't think I can. I think it's something you have to set up in the beginning of franchise. But I'd probably just roll with what we have. But I don't think I can actually do anything about it. That's not going anywhere. You still playing, if you're still around, Bengal, are you still playing the show? Or are you tapped out for the year now that football's around? I say that like it's not like suddenly week 11.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please.
Yeah, I saw that. Khalil Mack, he's on season-ending injured reserve, and with his cap hit, I think at $30 million next year, that might be it for him in Chicago.
Leading off for the Rockies, the shortstop.
Let's go with Gomber next, and then we'll go to Toussaint. Gotta send that the other way. Oh, you haven't touched it in 2 months. Yeah, I feel like when I check out Twitch at night, I don't see you on there as often these days. Ooh. That one's deep to center, but no. Seems you got a love-hate relationship there playing Diamond Dynasty. Content took a step back, and the gameplay online is beyond frustrating. Yeah, I've seen you get frustrated by the inconsistencies on there, and getting cheesed, whatnot, or players getting bailed out. I know even in franchise, when I get bailed out, like if that second pitch there, if I like jam that and it lands in right field, like I don't even feel good about it. Froze me. I do have Halo. Well, I was playing it on the Xbox One, like from 8 years ago, because I don't have one of the new Xboxes. I guess I could play it on PC. The new Halo is pretty sweet. I think the game pretty optimized. I've been watching some of the big streamers play it this week just to see like the ranked Halo again. I feel like shooters have really gone away from a lot of the competitive stuff, even though esports is big. Like there is esports in all these different games, but it still feels like the game is so like casually focused, and like, you know, Call of Duty takes forever to introduce like league play and stuff like that. And they don't really bring back like rankings, like true ranking systems. Like the Halo 3, like trying to get to level 50 used to be such an iconic thing. Like I want them to bring that competitive element to shooters without like having to be part of an org or playing game battles. Something like that. Like putting in true competitive stuff. Not that I'd be any good at it though. Like I've been so off and on with any of those kinds of games, like I would still be in like the bottom bracket anyway. But they put in progression systems to have you chasing, you know, unlocking camos and stuff like that, or getting to the next prestige in Call of Duty, but what about like the competitive, like tier-based stuff? Oh yeah, I should have taken out Keuchel by now, but I'm kind of in the zone here. Gave up that home run, unfortunately.
The first baseman, number 4.
Oh, exactly. Online head-to-head should be like as skill-based as you can possibly make it. And there are some unbelievable players on that game. And I feel like whenever I've watched you play, you pretty much win 95+% of the games. Jammed him a little bit there. But there are some guys, I've seen you play against like other high-level players, and it feels like they can hit a home run on anything at times.
Your attention, please. Now pitching for the Athletics, number 33, Freddie.
You know, I've actually thought about like a YouTuber franchise in the future, just because like the
Leading off,
user versus CPU gameplay is kind of,
number 3.
I don't know, I just haven't enjoyed it as much. And after playing the Broncos franchise so much, it kind of raised the bar as far as expectations of gameplay, because I think that the gameplay I had was pretty good for user CPU in modern Madden. So it has had me thinking about, like, what if I had another kind of franchise that was more user versus user? Then I wouldn't have to worry about CPU play calling and a million other things. Ooh. No. Let's go with Colton Welker.
Your attention, please.
So
For the Rockies,
he has a chance to make the active as well. Kind of like 60s for all his hitting and power ratings, which is pretty good. Was our best home run hitter at AAA a season ago. Yeah, I feel you there. Like, the game has other issues when it comes to user versus user, and I don't know, I feel like those online leagues are always something that gets people excited, but then, like, you actually do it and you realize that it's impossible to coordinate schedules and to actually complete something. Like, I wonder how many franchises in the world exist with more than, like, 10 people that consistently play a franchise. And I have thought about this for a long time. Like, I think franchise is simply too long for most people to actually engage in it online. And what Madden used to have back in the PS2 era is they had the ability to create like a smaller league or a tournament. And you could set it up any way you wanted. You know, a single elimination tournament, double elimination, or you could do like a round robin style where everybody plays everybody. And I think that that would actually be better than an online franchise for most players. Because imagine like you and 3 friends getting into a structured league where everybody played everybody twice, and then like the best 2 players played in the championship. You could knock that out in a weekend. But there isn't really a casual way to take on online franchise because of the time commitment. There's just no way unless you're simming a million games or playing against the CPU, and then you're taken away from your own experience.
ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. Now pitching for the Rockies, number 26, Austin.
Like, legit, I think that it would be a lot of fun for people if you could set up a league. You know, 6 people, fantasy draft, and then everybody plays everybody twice, or whatever it is. And I think people would actually finish the experience. I used to be a member of an online franchise that had a solid 20 members. It was somewhat of a commitment, but it was so much fun. We don't play anymore because Madden is terrible, but it was dope. Yeah, I think that if you had like a group that was really committed to playing, it would be really, really fun. Something different and competitive. It would give you that experience, I think, more so than user versus CPU. Have I played Back for Blood? I downloaded it one night on Game Pass and played like 1 round, but I didn't like how it ran on the Xbox One. I felt like it wasn't very smooth. Cool idea. I mean, Left 4 Dead's a cool game, and those co-op style shooters just aren't all that common, I feel. I had actually missed that the Angels signed Noah Syndergaard. I don't, when a guy is coming off not playing for so long, it's hard to say. We've seen this play out with so many guys before, even with the Mets, like Matt Harvey. It's always worth a chance because, I mean, if the guy returns to form, then he has what it takes to be a top-end pitcher. Give me that. Back for Blood was so disappointing. Yeah, and I feel like if you just take the temperature of, like, the streaming side of things, like, it didn't seem to catch on. And when it comes to a game like that, like, if you can't get attention from the streaming community that will fall in love with any game for a weekend or a week or whatever, that didn't really happen. I think we've had a couple games this year miss the mark on that. There was Outriders earlier in the year that came out, and these games as a service, man. The real service is you buying the beta and them being able to make full price, and then they eventually get it to the place where it should have been in the first place. It's not like games as a service is not at all what it was made out to be, where you get a complete game and then you just experience like really good updates and expansions all the time. Like, it's buying a beta, hoping the game gets fixed, but because attention isn't permanent, people move on because there's plenty else to play, and then the game is dropped. And as a Battlefield fan, kind of speaking from experience there, I'm playing Battlefield 2042, and I think it's fun, but it's like, why did you have to try to reinvent the wheel? Like, it feels like Madden when features are ripped out and it's just inexplicable. Because now I'm like, all right, waiting for them to add back in things that should have never been out in the first place. Like, how is this game going to make any progress? It's like when you have a holding penalty on 1st and 10 and then a false start and another holding penalty, and it's like, now I got to sit here. It's 2nd and 25.
Your attention, please.
You ain't getting the first down.
Number 60.
Yeah, apparently I was interested in that GTA Trilogy remaster, and apparently, from what I read last night, it is a remaster of the mobile port from a couple years ago. Like, it's not even a remaster from the PS2 days. And yeah, that looks terrible. I've also seen what people have done with mods, and that's what the GTA Remastered Trilogy should be. Ah. I just want games to be better, man. But hey, it's on me, because they're out there, and I'm just not playing enough of them. All of these games here I need to play. And these are all, like, really good games. Ratchet and Clank, and Ghost of Tsushima, and Final Fantasy VII Remake. I'm working on it, though. I've been playing Persona 5 for, I don't know, a month. I'm like 30-ish hours in. Because I never actually got around to finishing it. Devers, the other way, and it's gone! See ya! I mean, this guy is just going to be unfair. That's a good way of putting it, Remoraid, yeah. Battlefield does have an identity crisis, and I think they're chasing, a lot of successful games out there rather than being good at their own thing. And I just don't know when the copycat game has ever paid off for a game developer. He's no Ryan McMahon. This was such a year of opportunity for any of the shooters to come out and blow everybody away. And I think that all three games have kind of underwhelmed in some way I think Halo gameplay-wise looks like it's the best between that, Battlefield, and Call of Duty. And Halo being free is going to get a lot attention that it wouldn't have gotten otherwise. But I feel like Call of Duty doing a World War II game is going to, like, by default, kind of, you know, it's whatever, man. I don't think people are going to be excited about historic shooters. That era has come and gone. And in the past 5 years, we've gotten 2 big Battlefield games from World War I and World War II. And now this is the second World War II COD game in the last 4 years. Man, my swing. But Halo looks really good, but I think that there needs to be a little more fleshed out there in terms of like player progression. I know they have like the battle pass and the customization there, and they do thankfully have ranked already in there. But I would still look at like Master Chief Collection being a more complete experience.
Leading off for the Athletics, the catcher, Austin Allen.
Yeah, I can move the camera up a little bit. Sometimes it gets in the way of the graphics. How soon before I sign Devers to an extension? It can't be soon enough. What else is there to say? All he does is hit homers. I haven't played the WWE 2K stuff in a very long time, and I'm not into wrestling any longer. I was, but I just didn't like the direction the product was going, and only got so much time for so many things, you know? So it got cut. I think I will go back to NBA 2K at some point. Nicely done. Just, haven't had a lot of desire to play the game, I guess. Just focused on the show and, Madden right now. And I enjoy doing my rebuilds on the second channel. I enjoy those a lot. And there are some other side projects I want to get to as well. Now, I know I haven't done like a Madden series on this channel, but I've talked about All Pro Football, and I want to get that going soon. And I have talked about this a little bit in the member stream, but I'm thinking about doing All Pro for this channel to kind of help fill the void here with football, because there's just nothing with football on the main channel. And while I don't think like the All-Pro series will be the biggest thing ever or what everybody wants, it's still something I want to do. And I could do it for the second channel, but I could also set it up to be like, you know, Broncos-style episodes too for one season. Did I play Red Dead? You know, I got probably 30 hours into it, and then I don't know, something always comes up in those big games, and I struggle to finish them. But, you know, I still probably have Red Dead here in my desk, because it's kind of one of those games I want to play again. Yep, sure enough. Red Dead, Borderlands 3, that came out when I was moving across the country, so of course I lost track of that. Red Dead's fantastic, though. Nice. My favorite Major League Baseball player would be Byron Buxton. And in my experience, having a favorite player on the Twins usually means they go somewhere else. You know, Torrey Hunter was my first favorite, you know, baseball player. And it still is my favorite baseball player of all time. And then he went to the Angels in free agency. And then, you know, they had a real ace pitcher, Johan Santana. Felt like the guy never had a bad outing. And they trade him to the Mets. In that trade, they got Carlos Gomez, who became a player I liked a lot. Ended up trading him to Milwaukee. Oh, yeah, it's been a couple of years already, Brad. I really enjoyed the move to Texas, and it hasn't been as difficult as I thought it would be. Man, that's a nasty pitch. Borderlands is fantastic. I actually, I have the first two plus pre-sequel on Switch, and I think it's a pretty good port. And I just wrapped up, probably in the last month, replaying Borderlands 1, and I think it holds up pretty well. I think Borderlands has aged well for the most part, especially because the first one's been remastered. The gunplay has always been okay. Graphically, the style ages really well. A lot of stuff from that era doesn't. Came out 2009. I assume you still like it in Texas, Bengal. There's something nice about having a 1,000 plus mile buffer between you and the team that constantly lets you down. And being able to wear shorts for like 10 months out of the year is pretty cool too. I've looked at so many strike threes today. Of course, I'm back and forth between this and chat, so it's going to happen. Give me Dom Thompson Williams. No plans to move.
Pinch hitting for the Rockies. Number 25, Dom Thompson Williams.
Yeah, I mean, at least in my case, outside of being away from, like, family and stuff like that, like, the day-to-day, everything, I like it a lot. Oh, that's true. Man, and I felt like, I don't know, I paid attention to those games kind of the first month or so, and they had the quarterback switch, but then I forget what the first, like, big game was, if it was the Oklahoma game or one of those games. They didn't really show up, but I think they've lost like 5 straight now. So, not at all in the conversation right now. Yeah, there is a new NCAA game coming. I'm not sure what to expect of it. Of course, I'm interested, but also very... I'm not going to let myself get my expectations too high. Both Byron Buxton and Josh Donaldson of the Twins are listed in the 12 players who could be traded this winter via The Athletic. See, I wouldn't be mad if they traded Donaldson, but I would be mad if they traded Buxton. Regardless of injuries, like, he's just so good. You have to give him the chance to make that contract pay off, because you don't come across talents like him too often. They'll be waiting decades to do it again.
Your attention, please. Pinch hitting for the Athletic. Number 20.
Oh, I love NCAA 14. I've played so much of that game. I've probably played that game more than any other football game. Ever. I think some aspects of it haven't aged all that well, but I think the college revamped mod injected some life that can bridge the gap between now and whatever the next game is like. Glad you could catch the stream, Springy, from Romania. That's part of why I like doing these streams earlier in the day. pretty convenient for people from all over the place to catch the streams. And I know from like the very beginning of me making content, like I got a lot of viewers from all sorts of places.
Pinch hitting for the Athletics. Number 29, Nick.
I know a ton are from Brazil, of course the UK. I hope Kyle Garlick can stay healthy and be productive for the Twins. He's a decent complimentary player. He had a couple moments this year. He had a couple big moments I remember earlier on. No, it was a bad year for Minnesota sports in general. The main bright spot was just seeing Jorge Polanco have the season he put together. And I never felt like I saw that kind of potential in him, but man, he was good. He showed he could carry an offense. Hey, we got a deal here. Broncos signing Tim Patrick, 3 years, $34.5 million. You might think that's a lot. If he hit free agency, he'd get somewhere close to that. Now, what do I think would be fair for Patrick? Probably more like 3 years, 25, 26, but like that's what every deal is. Like 20 to 25% more than it probably should be. That's just NFL economics.
Number 37. Now at shortstop, number 8, Robert.
Patrick's a good player though. I've always liked him. The only thing that surprises me is that they made him a priority on an offense that features Jerry Jeudy and Cortland Sutton, Noah Fant. I'm just surprised that like the third guy or the fourth guy ends up getting the big deal. Ripped it into right. Doesn't matter. Let me pull up... I want to pull up their targets for this year. I know Judy's missed a lot of time, so it's going to be skewed. But I just want to see what his target share in that offense is. If I can find... You know what? I have too many bookmarks to find it. Never mind. Not going to slow down the stream for this. The Goddard extension was a big one, but I think after they traded Ertz, we knew it was inevitable. And I mean, the Eagles don't exactly have a lot of sure things in their passing game. They're starting to get some good play here in the second half from Devontae Smith. But I mean, that team has missed too many times to not sign a player they actually hit on. Oh, that is so slow. What are you throwing? Oh, yeah. Nothing here is touching 90. We got to slow it down a little bit here. Is there a CPU series for NCAA 14 still in the works? I mean, it's possible, but I'm not working on anything like that right now. That was a good swing, man. 2-2. Yeah, I could see that, Springy. Chiefs winning that division. The Chargers are a solid team, but I think they're in a similar boat to the Browns right now, where it's like, you're better than you were, or have been for many of these years. Devers, right center. Not this time. But how good are you for real? The Chiefs now are at 6-4. And if they can beat Dallas, it's going to give them a real leg up. Oh, Jorge Polanco. Uh-oh, to deep right field. It should stay in the yard, though. The Raiders are a hard team to have a good read on. because, you know, they won a lot of games in strange fashion. I think they're just a middle-of-the-road team. You know, they might sneak into the postseason. But they have a lot of work to do. They got to clean up a lot of things still. I want to see Jose Alvarado. And they got to start getting the ball to Darren Waller more. Just find a way. Why doesn't, like, Waller hasn't done what I expected him to do this year. He's not really getting the chance. For the Chargers, I feel like the defense is a bit of a letdown right now. And offensively, I mean, there's a good talent, but I feel like you'd expect more from how much talent is there. I mean, you got best value at running back in the entire league in Austin Eckler. You got Justin Herbert in year 2 with Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. You upgraded like 4/5 of your offensive line this year. Runner goes. Dom got him. Yeah, I saw Cooper's out this week. Alvin Kamara is going to miss again. Ryan Ramczyk and Teron Armstead are out. That's pretty big.
Your attention, please. A defensive change for the Athletics. Now playing center field. Number 3, Greg Allen. Now in left field, number 77. Now pitching for the A's. Number 32, James Pachulia. Now in right field,
Saints this week get Philly. That's going to be an interesting one. Philly at 4-6, New Orleans at 5-4. That, if Philly wins, that really shakes up the wild card race a little bit.
the left fielder, David Geronimo.
I'm really interested in that game because the Saints have like the best run defense in the NFL. One of the best run defenses. On paper, I think it's the best. And the Eagles have been extremely run heavy. And that's probably not going to be an option for them this week. I don't think Jordan Howard and Boston Scott are going to solve this Saints defense. So, can they open it up a little bit with Jalen Hurts? On top of that, they're going to be at home. Eagles money line. I'm not here giving picks, but you know, in fantasy this week, a little action on the Philly side of things might be kind of interesting. I need Devontae Smith to pop off this week. He's done it the last 2.
Shortstop,
And my thought is that may have to throw a bit more in this game. So, taking a hard look at Smith and Goddard this week if there's a few more passes to go around. The NFC is a fist fight, but it's not like a fist fight with heavyweights. You know, it's just a bunch of mid-carders. The wild card is going to be so nasty down the stretch. Vikings are in the hunt, even though they've been a train wreck. The Bears aren't even completely out of it.
the first baseman,
Eagles, Saints are in it. You know, the Falcons look done, but, you know, mathematically, they're definitely not out of it. Carolina, their stock is way up. I mean, they went from Darnold to Cam Newton, and the entire, like, feeling with that team completely changed. Like, Cam is not going to be MVP Cam from 2015. But I also don't see him being like Sam Darnold against the Vikings for 3 quarters, or Sam Darnold in a couple of their other games after that 3-0 start. Like, Cam ain't going to do that. He's not going to be sitting there at like 9 for 20 with 80 yards and 2 picks, completely wrecking the offense. I mean, he gives you the option to run the ball differently and to run the ball more. And now CMC is back, and I think they're adjusting his workload. And I think around the league, you see a lot of teams really going away from the idea of a bell cow running back. Now, the Steelers are not one of those teams. But I know even I will sometimes get on the Colts about how much they use Jonathan Taylor, but it's like he's around 20 touches. And what happens to all these other running backs that have huge workloads? Injuries. So what should McCaffrey's role be to me? All the pass game stuff he can handle. Red zone carries. But limit his overall rushes to about 12. And then all the pass game volume he can handle. It's not as punishing. And I think you see some teams like Indianapolis being ahead of the curve on that as far as, you know, they're not going to give Jonathan Taylor 25 touches until he gets hurt and then dial it back to 18. That's why Nyheim Hines is playing. That's why they still used Marlon Mack and refused to trade him. There are very few running backs that are truly treated like the bell cow running back. And the odd thing is that the Vikings have Dalvin Cook, and they give him that treatment while also having one of the league's best backups in Alexander Madison. And I do think that they should use Madison more than they do.
Number 46, Jose.
12 seems too low. I would say 12 for McCaffrey because his receiving floor or like his receiving expectation is literally like 7 to 10 catches a game. He's one of the most involved running backs in the passing game. Do I think the Dolphins can turn their season around? Personally, I think it's too late, being 3-7. But they've been so much more competitive recently, and I'm thinking they started to figure out a couple things defensively. Granted, one of those games was against Houston, so it's hard to get a fair reading on that. I do think it's a little too late for Miami, but they should beat the Jets. Unless Joe Flacco wants to end their season. Joe Flacco. You know, there's a team that, not that I think they're a bad team. Nice job, Alvarado. But I think there's a team this year where I think that they've gotten a lot of benefit of the doubt, but they haven't necessarily earned it this year as far as being one of the top shelf teams. That's the Buffalo Bills. I don't think outside of the Kansas City game in the middle of their struggles that the Bills really have a signature game this year. They have by far one of the easiest schedules I think any team has had. And now this is a really good team still. Like, exceptional defense. We all know they can put up a lot of points. But can this team make a run? Will this team make a run? Because they blow out all these bad teams. They lost to the Jaguars. And here's an interesting thing about the Bills this year. They've only played 3 one-possession games. The rest have been multi-possession wins. Those 3 one-possession games are all losses. They haven't won a close game this year. Now, part of that is the fact that they're so much better than some of these bad teams. There's just not going to be a close game between them and the Houston Texans with Davis Mills. Or no, that was the game they lost. Which one did they... What was the 40-0? Oh, that was the Texans. They lost to the Jaguars. That's right. My bad. I was getting that messed up. Both teams are pretty bad. I can't tell the Texans and Jaguars apart. But I just don't think yet that they have, they haven't proven it this year against great teams. And they haven't faced a lot. But what's interesting upcoming for the Bills and where they can solidify things is they still have their 2 games against the red-hot Patriots. I can't wait for those. I'm also interested in their game this weekend because I think the Colts, the Colts aren't a top-tier team or anything like that. But they're a solid average team at the worst. I want to see if they can challenge Buffalo. But where I think this Bills team is different is I do think their defense has gotten even better. No Texan slander. For the rest of the stream, we'll pretend as if the Houston Texans do not exist. Patriots look good, man. They really look good right now. I feel like it's coming together for them again. All over again. Mac Jones playing well. They got a productive running game and a good defense. Do I believe the Titans can win the entire AFC? I do, Mark. I do think they have a chance to do it. Especially because, the Bills are one of the top contenders. They still play the Patriots twice. And I think that, we kind of handed the Bills the division a little while ago. It ain't that far apart. The Patriots are 7-4 now, and the Bills are, what are they, 7-3? 6-3. And the game against the Colts isn't going to be an easy one. I think the Titans, they've cleaned up so much in the last 5 weeks that they have built in a tiny bit of room for error. I want to see their upcoming schedule, too. Maybe I can end this game, too, while we're at it. Could Denver come back? I don't know about Denver. I mean, at 5-5, they're certainly not out, but man, the wild card hunts this year are so interesting in both conferences to me. Because you still have every team in it in the AFC West and the AFC North. That is really messy. Who's on second base right now? Rodgers. That's fine. All right, let's go. Let's win this game. I haven't seen the new Hard Knocks, no. Around $20 million a year for Barrios. I saw that. I feel like that was a fine deal. It's a long contract for him, but $18 million a year for Barrios to me felt appropriate. I felt like he might end up getting more. Ooh, what are we doing there? Not ending the game. We're not worried about the Patriots, honestly. Are you a Bills fan? Oh, that defense, I mean... Yeah, the secondary matchup against the Patriots receivers is one of the most lopsided you could have. But Patriots as a whole are playing really good football right now. I think what the Bills really need is they got to get Diggs involved like they did last week. That was his first game all year where he had over 100 yards and a touchdown. The first one. They got to find a way to get Diggs more involved. Base hit wins the game. Ooh, I tried to check swing there, but it almost never ends up happening. The other way, if it's fair, it's over, but of course, it's not. And when it comes to New England, they're still like a very run-oriented offense. A lot of the attention's on Mac Jones because he's been so efficient primarily. But that's still a team that wants to run it down your throat. Dude. Oh, I thought Ohtani was easily the MVP. I mean, no one has done what he's done in the last century. Man. It feels like, you know, if it were like the NL or the NFL equivalent, it'd be like Ohtani MVP, but Vladdy is the offensive player of the year. One of those situations. What were Vlad's pitching stats? Another pitch. Good God, this won't end. Here is pitch number 12 to Brian Reynolds. In the dirt. And they're loaded up. And it's Rafael Devers.
The third baseman, Rafael Devers.
Who should the Twins target for shortstop? I don't think they're going to be making anything flashy happen this year. Gotta let that go. I'm very happy with like Polanco and Arise. I don't think if they make a big move, it needs to be there. Starting to miss baseball season already. Oh, man. My timing is just... I'm letting the ball come to the plate too much. I'm not aggressive enough right now. Maybe I was too aggressive there. We're going to an 11th inning. I have so many extra inning games. I might stream another Giants franchise sometime off season. Could be fun. Not a ton of hits in this game.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Now,
Oh, you won a lot of money on the Vikings last week? You know, I didn't think they were going to beat LA. But the Vikings are a tricky team to get a read on because they're... You never know what week they're going to be mediocre and what week they're going to actually show up. But they tend to show up against better competition. Not always, of course. Halloween's not that long ago. And this week, you know, I think that at home they're going to be really competitive with Green Bay. I feel like they're going to be able to contain A.J. Dillon. I think Jones would give them more of a problem. Nice. Patrick Peterson should be back.
your attention please. Pinch hitting for the Athletics. Number 1.
Is Bakhtiari playing this week? I know that he's been getting closer and closer, and this is an important game for them. Listening to the press conferences last week, what gave you confidence? Because the narrative around the last Vikings week was the lack of aggressiveness and not utilizing Justin Jefferson enough. And I knew that they were going to make an effort to get him the ball more against the Chargers, and they did. They were far more aggressive than they've been in other games. You know, almost converting a 3rd and 20 was one of the biggest plays of the season. 3rd and 20 late in the game. You know, Kirk throws it across the middle of the Thielen to get it to 4th and 1, and now, okay, you can go for it, and they get it. And that was one of the biggest sequences of the entire thing. You thought they'd bounce back with the aggressive calls? Yeah, I mean, when you combine aggressiveness with talent, it tends to lead to good things. And as far as Justin Jefferson goes, I'm not sure you can be too aggressive with the guy. He's so good. I don't think Zimmer's back next year because I think that for that to happen, they have to win like 2 playoff games. And I just don't see the Vikings doing that. I think they have to go to the title game, really. I don't think a playoff season guarantees this era continues. Sneaky key to sports betting is listening to press conferences. I do think you can get some useful information out of that to try and kind of gauge the conversations around teams. I do it in fantasy all the time. I mean, to see, try to get a hint as to, you know, if a guy who hasn't been involved as much will be more involved going forward. And that was, you know, kind of the case with Jefferson. Kind of the talk the last 2 weeks.
A defensive team for the Athletics. Now playing second base, number 1.
But yeah, Minnesota's big problem, well, there's a lot of them. But if you're to sort through and identify one of the largest, it's been kind of their aggressive to conservative decision making. And they have been way too safe. Running the ball on 2nd and long and not giving the receivers enough of a chance to take a game over. You got a team that doesn't have a great line. It's getting better. And I think outside of the Cleveland game, the offensive line has been nowhere near the Vikings' biggest issues this year. But they still are very penalty prone. The Vikings' problem right now, I'd say, is more in terms of penalties than, like, pressure. And I think as a run-blocking unit, they're still allowing way too many, like, negative and 0-yard gains. They're not going to push anybody around, that's for sure. Going to the Cardinals at Seahawks games this week. Yeah, I don't know what to expect from Seattle now. I don't know how healthy Russ was last week, but Green Bay's defense is really good. I think that Eric Stokes was an exceptional pick for them, making the loss of Jair Alexander a little bit easier to handle. Now, the one to usually watch out for against Green Bay is Dalvin. Last 2 games for him have been really good. He had a 4-touchdown game against them last season. Oh, yeah, the Gophers have been weird this year. They lose to Bowling Green. I know they lost to Iowa last time out. They've won some cupcake games. It's not pretty, but it's going to win the game, man, at last. There you go. I don't know why they threw it to first there. But Trey Turner with a walk-off. Is this Aaron Rodgers last year in Green Bay? I don't know. There's a lot of talk about that. I could still see them extending him just because, you know, that's a more sure way to keep yourself a championship contender. I actually like Cousins, crazy accuracy. He is very accurate. Well, I should say, like, no throw is too difficult for him, and he'll make some unbelievable throws. He's kind of like Stafford, though, at the same time, where it's like he'll also have a few throws or have a game where it's just not there for him. I feel like we've seen that from Stafford a little bit lately, not as sharp as he usually is. Kirk has those moments, and I think he had a few of them last week, where the ball just gets away from him, and you can't really explain why. The Dallas game, that was actually a game where it was more of a problem.
For the victorious Rockies, 4 runs on 4 hits, 2 errors. They left 7 men on base.
Cousins is a hard guy to figure out, especially because, like, the beginning of the year, it felt like the Vikings were just letting him down game after game. I think, like, 4 weeks into the season, like, Kirk was playing, like, 4-0 football. Maybe first 3 games, because, you know, the Browns game wasn't good, and those are the games that Kirk usually lays an egg. The ones where the offensive line is pushed around and it feels like things are over before the snap even happens. Yeah, 4 hits is ugly. We got to do better than that. Let's get into another full game and try to do better than that. Samuel, a member for 28 months. Hey, Kane, I never thought that a baseball series would be my favorite of yours, but loving the Rockies, something nice for me to watch before my shift. I appreciate it very much. Thank you for staying a member on the channel. I appreciate the support. And yeah, I get like a lot of feedback from people who don't even like baseball, but they like the series. That's always something to feel good about as a creator, when you can get someone to enjoy something they wouldn't otherwise in another capacity. For opening day, so I'm going to work on this all weekend and Sunday during the games probably to get spring training done. So opening day, I'm going to target, like, once I get the spring training done, then I can move on completely. So I would be targeting Tuesday, Wednesday for opening day, because I think I can get spring training up Monday, and then I just need enough time to get, you know, an opening day episode together. Your series made me fall in love with baseball again. I love that. As somebody who had to fall in love with the sport again after really taking like 5-6 years off. You know, I was a really big Twins fan for a long time, and like literally I kind of got out when they got the new stadium, and it wasn't like because they got the new stadium. It's just kind of 2009 was when I just kind of ended it. Even though 2009 they went to the playoffs. They won game 163 against the Tigers. And then 2010 they opened the new stadium. They brought in Jim Tomei and they made the playoffs that year. I can't remember why I got out of baseball after 2009. But I did. I didn't get back into it until like 2015, 2016. And by then the league was so different. I had to relearn all the players, and thankfully playing a lot of fantasy baseball, that didn't take me too long. And I mean, it's my favorite thing to watch during the summertime. There's always a baseball game on. There's something different about baseball where, like, it's just nice to have it there. The season's long. There's always a bunch of games, and that's gone. Solo homer, Brian Reynolds. Wasn't sure it had enough. But I don't know. Like, you watch baseball, and you know your favorite team is going to... What do they always say? Like, you're going to lose 60, you're going to win 60. It's the other 42 that determine your season. Something like that. There's just something about having non-stop games, not getting so caught up in the wins and losses, and just kind of enjoying players developing and whatnot. enjoying the good stretches because every team is going to have them.
Batting third. The third
I don't know. To me, baseball is like having music on in the background. Loving the Rockies, Kane. Member for 34 months, Davrin? 34 months? How do I feel about the M's? Way more optimistic than any time ever, really. Ever since they won over 100 games or had that amazing year all those seasons ago. They got a nice team. I love their young prospects and organization. Ooh, was not ready. Love Kyle Lewis, Taylor Trammell, obviously Jared Kelnick, Logan Gilbert. But is this it? This is it, right, for Seager? Because I know he kind of,
the left fielder.
I know he had talked about this already.
Geronimo.
That is true, Alex. The thing is, though, as a Steelers fan, at least, you know, you can enjoy having at least one good franchise. And the Pirates are just, you know, it's one of those situations where ownership isn't even giving you a chance. Beautiful. 2 hits in this game already, only 4 last game. Yeah, losing Seager is gonna hurt. He's a glue guy. He keeps everything together. You know, I hope the Twins don't trade Buxton, but I would not put it past them. I have no, like, feeling one way or another towards what happens. But I don't have a lot of confidence just based on the fact that the negotiating part has gone on for as long as it has. And to me, like, what is there to negotiate about? Byron Buxton is a top-end talent, and if you don't give him what he wants, somebody else will. This shouldn't even be a negotiating thing. It should just be kind of a mandate from the organization. Do we want to build around a player that has MVP potential but has serious injury history? There's no negotiating necessary. You can't win in the negotiating with him. What do you think about the Steelers this year, Alex, and everybody else in chat? See, that was a team coming into the year where, you want a Giants video? After the stream, I got one for you. It'll be up as soon as we're done streaming today. First playoff game. This series rocks. The Deconator, member for 36 months. I got to see if I can upload a 3-year badge yet. That wasn't an option for a long time because the feature was so new, but maybe they updated the stuff. Should not be 2-2 with where he's throwing these, man. Coming into the year, my feeling on the Steelers were that they were a 9-8 team. And through all the ups and downs this year with the Steelers, I still think they're a 9-8 team. I feel like I had a good read on them. Where, like, clearly Ben's age, the O-line, like, something's got to give here. They're not just going to be the same Steelers. But at the same time, they're talented and they got a great defense. 9-8 seemed really reasonable. And I want to see that team go 9-8 because I'll be so right. I should have sent the runners there, huh? Steelers couldn't beat the Lions. They also didn't lose to the Lions. Man, when Pat Freiermuth lost that fumble in overtime, it just felt like the universe wasn't going to let anybody win the game. That was one of the weirdest games of the season. And I can't believe the Lions didn't lose. Really. They can't go 9-8 anymore. Man, they're going to go I have to update my prediction. I forgot about that. 8-8-1, I guess.
Batting second.
Now, what's thrown me off a little bit in the North, I didn't really have any faith in the Bengals. I thought they were a 6 or 7 win team. Not really a Zach Taylor guy. Didn't think there was any reason to have faith in their defense. But their defense has taken a lot of steps forward this year. And Jamar Chase,
Batting third.
as somebody who was definitely in the camp of they should have taken Penei Sewell, they're better in 2021 having Chase than Sewell. And maybe for the foreseeable future. 6.6 WAR. They are not messing around here with Kyle Lewis. Nice pitch. See, I had faith in the Browns too. I had totally bought in just because I felt there was enough on both sides of the football to be hopeful. And I felt like Odell was going to come back and have kind of a return to form, and that did not happen. He's obviously with the Rams, who are reeling right now. Panthers 7 seed, maybe higher.
First baseman.
Like
Jock.
I've definitely bought into the Panthers over the last week. Because I think that even if Cam isn't like anywhere close to MVP Cam, I just don't think he drags the team down the way Darnold was. And I'm hoping now that DJ Moore can kind of have his season rebound. And, you know, Robbie Anderson, his season had gotten to a really bad point. I checked the numbers maybe a month ago, and Robbie Anderson on, like, in terms of yards per target, because they were trying to get the ball to him, but he was literally like 212th in the NFL in yards per target. Combination of him dropping the ball, Darnold's accuracy, a lot of things.
Batting fifth.
I think Cam is going to make things so much more stable. Can Cam still throw, though? I mean, we didn't see much in that last game. He did throw one behind DJ Moore, and then I think he threw a screen, and he threw one to the end zone, a short one to Robbie Anderson for a touchdown. He threw a couple screens. And I'm not expecting him, you know, the shoulder has had issues for a long time. I don't think that Cam is going to have like a lights out second half or something like that. But I just think the Panthers are going to be a better team with him there. They can do read option. I think it benefits McCaffrey a lot, and he's going to be able to be active in the passing game. I just think the total package is way better. And Carolina's defense, you know, isn't bad.
The second baseman.
I think they're going to be a playoff team. Yeah, Big Ben's arm is shot. That's for sure. But it's very good for Deontay Johnson's receptions right now. One and two. Do you guys think the Browns end up signing Baker Mayfield? Yeah, Jabir, that's really important. How serious is that injury to Baker Mayfield? Because I have the feeling it's pretty serious, but he's a tough guy, and he's going to be out there as much as he can. I think the Browns end up signing Mayfield. And I think that there's going to be a little bit of fear of, like, you know, we worked so long to get to this point. Starting over at quarterback introduces so much risk let's just keep Mayfield and hope that we can keep this thing together. I think that's what they'll do. See, I let the first one go and go after the second one. I can't read these things. Thoughts on Colton Welker? I haven't had too many at-bats with him, but I think he'd be a solid player to have come off the bench. Or maybe one day he replaces like Ty France. He just kind of fits that archetype of a solid first base, third base power hitter. Chris Flexen. Baker only signs for a mid-tier contract. That's where I think it's going to get tricky, because I also see Baker asking for, like, more than a mid-tier contract. That's an interesting one to see play out. I'm not a huge Baker guy like I was when he was a rookie. I just don't think we've seen... I wouldn't put Baker in the top 2 quarterback tiers. You know, you got your elites, you know, where Brady, Mahomes, and Rodgers, and Russ for most of his career have played. And at times, you know, Lamar Jackson has, especially for a lot of this year. And then, you know, in your tier 2, we're talking about, you know, where Matt Ryan spent his entire NFL career to me, where most of the solid starters are. And then you get to tier 3, which to me is like the Kirk Cousins of the world. And that's still where I think Baker is, in the 3rd tier. So I just think it's a really tricky situation, because Baker's definitely better than the 20 years of quarterbacks they had before him. But is this a situation like Derek Carr, where it's like, I don't think Derek Carr has ever been a tier 1 to 2 quarterback, but he's still played there now for, what is this, his 8th or 9th season? I kind of see Baker sticking around the way Carr did. Where it's like, maybe he's not, you know, worth this big contract, and maybe you could do better, but it's incredibly difficult, incredibly risky to try. To lead the team in slugging, I think it's got to be Devers. Just because his home run expectation, I think, would be at least 25% over anybody else on the team. We have a bunch of guys who might hit 30, but Devers might hit 50.
The second baseman,
I would expect that next year Trey Lance plays a lot more for San Francisco. What's Jimmy's contract like, as far as years remaining? Because I could even see them running like a 2-quarterback deal next year. Now, Lance, I know, has dealt with an injury lately, so he hasn't even had the chance to get any experience lately. He only made, I think, 1 start. Yeah, his last game was October 3rd. Is that right? That's 6 weeks ago. Browns have a good infrastructure. A new quarterback could do them some good. They do have a good infrastructure, and I think that the front office is actually like NFL caliber now. So would they trust themselves to reload the team, finding a new quarterback? Maybe. But here's the thing. You can do that without going after a rookie. Tell me, this offseason, if the Browns came calling for Matt Ryan, Would the Falcons hang up the phone? Also, how much is left in the tank for Matt Ryan? He's on a team that makes it hard to gauge right now because of the O-line and I mean, Russell Gage is currently his number one. Kyle Pitts is really the number one receiver. You know what? Cordero Patterson is the number one receiver and running back. The year of Cordero has been amazing. I feel so vindicated all the years I felt like the Vikings weren't utilizing him well enough. Uh-oh. He just dropped it. That's on Dom. Weird. I think Ryan can give you solid games, but you're not going to win games because of Ryan. You think he's in that spot now? Not a good enough game changer. I kind of agree with that. How old is Matt Ryan? Because he came into the league, I think, 07. Matt Ryan is 36 years old, so he'll be 37 next year. Hasn't dealt with a lot of injuries either in his career. He's kind of been an Iron Man at quarterback there. Browns can call the Colts for Wentz. Wentz has done some good things this year. But, you know, I don't think anybody's too excited right now about the quarterback class for this draft. And, you know, there might be enough question marks and enough middle-of-the-road teams to where the veteran quarterback market next year could be interesting. You know, if a team wants to try and trade for Russell Wilson or a team wants to trade for Matt Ryan, I think both are possible. I feel like the Seahawks are due for a shakeup. And if it were up to me, it would be Pete Carroll going and Russ staying. Reynolds, not this time. Him and Flacco in the same draft class, I believe. Was Flacco 07? Joe Flacco is 36 years old. He was in the 08 class. Was Matt Ryan 08 or 07? 08. Yeah. I don't know why I always think he's in Adrian Peterson's draft class. I don't get it. Actually, I know why. It's because, like, I misremembered something. And that was, the fact is that Adrian Peterson's first ever game was against the Falcons. But for a long time, I thought that was also Matt Ryan's first game. But it wasn't. He was drafted a year later. I think the Vikings won that game 34-3. I watched it on a TV while at Best Buy. Why wasn't I at home watching the game? Beats me. I don't know why I was out. Week 1 at Best Buy. I can't even picture not being home for week 1. Why was I watching the game at Best Buy? Not like I watched the whole game there, but I probably listened to PA on the radio and then caught some of it on the display TV units at Best Buy. I wasn't even buying a TV. Oh, yeah. You ever hear what Mike Zimmer thinks of Bobby Petrino? He's got some opinions. Hey, Damien, I appreciate the super chat. Thank you very much. I wish YouTube let you put a message in for any super chat. I don't see why they only do it for $2 and up. Damien says the GOAT. I appreciate that. Thank you. You know, Greg, I'm not the NFL draft guy. That'd be Bengal. He follows college football and the draft a lot closer than I do. A lot of people do. And I just read and watch their work. You should watch more Vikings games in Best Buy. They want to know when you do. No kidding. That's got to be the only one, too. Actually, the Vikings tend to do really well when I'm not watching. I actually missed a little bit of a game this year. I missed part of the first quarter against the Ravens when they went up 14-3. And then I started watching, so it's my fault. The Ravens came back. But the last games of the Vikings I've missed. It happens so infrequently I can remember, like, all of them. Out of here. Last game I missed, Week 1, 2019 against the Falcons, because I was driving back from Texas, scouting out if I wanted to move here, and I did. So I was, you know, between Kansas City and Minneapolis, listening to them beat the Falcons. Before that, the game I missed prior would have been 2012. Week 3, I want to say. Vikings, 49ers. Vikings destroyed them that week. Minnesota wasn't supposed to have a chance, and it was a signature win for Christian Ponder.
Up next for Seattle, the first baseman.
Before that, probably would have had to be, there's 2 games, I just can't remember the order they were in, okay? The first one is a game the Vikings lost to the Bengals 38-0. I missed that game because I was at a Twins game. This was probably like 2008. It was like 38-0. Like, I was so glad I didn't have to watch it. And that, maybe it wasn't 38-0. I think it was 37-8 in 2005. So that's not the correct order now, because there's 2 more that I can remember missing. I didn't see the Joe Webb game against Philly. I missed almost everything from it. The Joe Webb game in Philadelphia. I missed a classic. And the other one, I had to listen on the radio for 3.5 quarters of Adrian Peterson's 296 game. Dude, football is like the only way I can connect memories in my head. It's the only thing that works for me. There are so many things that I can remember better because I can relate them to like a football game that happened at the time or something. Ah, 0-2. Ooh, good swing by Rodgers into center field. Yeah, I have seen some of that Oklahoma stuff this year with Caleb Williams taking over. That's been an interesting story. Didn't see that coming after the Rattler preseason Heisman hype. So what do you guys think happens? Rattler probably transfers somewhere next year to rebuild the momentum, right?
Number 3.
Any decisions about the starting 5? You know, that 5th starter, I'm going to need to see a lot more. Nothing yet. Can't listen to my teams on the radio. Too stressful. It is stressful. Vikings have a really good radio announcer, though, so softens the blow that the commentary is really good. You just feel like if you could see it with your own eyes, that it would be like a little more under control. I'm the same way with memories, but with baseball, it's a little trickier with baseball because you can't be like, you know, it was week 2. It was, you know, the one time they played this team that year. I can kind of connect the same thing, though, with, like, certain video games at certain times. Ones that I've really been really into. Who is the 5th starter right now? I guess it's John Gray, but it's, like, so up in the air. It almost doesn't matter right now. Gonna foul that one off. What do I prefer? I think football on the radio. Mostly because I think there are a lot of good announcers on the radio. Like Paul Allen, for a Vikings fan. I've always liked his commentary. And then I feel like a lot of the national radio guys for like ESPN do a really good job. Like Kevin Harlan, I don't know if he does it all the time, but I know, like, I used to always go out and get like a pizza or something like that during Monday Night Football. And he'd be on there calling the game, and it was awesome. Let's get Toussaint out there next. I need to be better about warming up pitchers here in the spring. Got Chirinos here going a 4th inning in his first start. Yes, I do want to check out of the Park this year. Definitely. I really want to play it. Oh, wow. That's right. Because of the ruling there. Thanksgiving is next week, don't forget. And Amari will have to miss both games. Andrew, I appreciate the super chat. You are the GOAT. Keep on keeping on. Hey, look, Jared Kelnick. 5th starter should be Tukey. His morale is horrible because he hates being a reliever. Could be true. Oh, boy, he caught it. I just worry about his stamina because he's really like a 4 to 5 inning guy unless he's just getting a bunch of quick at-bats. But if we have a couple guys in the bullpen who can come in to eat up a few innings at a time, that would make it easier to handle. And I think we're set up to do that if we have John Gray and Austin Gomber. Because right now I'd have to say I have more confidence in Tukey Toussaint. Am I throwing too many? Yeah, let's change it up. I like the pitch. Oh well. Now is the time to practice my dives. That is true. Missing hurts, but this is the time to miss.
Shortstop, J.P. Crawford.
I'm sorry, I'm sure you have addressed this, that I have to do much slider adjustments and gameplay adjustments to have the offensive stats more realistic. If you're talking about this game, I have never touched the sliders. It's really all about the settings. And what I mean is I have the settings set up to be so ratings based, I don't need to mess with sliders. Treating Tukey like an opener isn't a bad idea.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Now pitching for the Mariners,
Any guesses as to where Rattler could possibly transfer to? I have no idea.
Leading off for Colorado, the center fielder, number 10, Brian Reynolds.
But I'm sure he will be going somewhere with a safe place to get a starting role again. Rattler to San Diego State. Yeah, he'll go to one of those. He'll go outside the Power 5 just to, like, dominate. Is the show set up properly to do openers? I don't think that there would be anything getting in your way. Because you can just start warming somebody up. But they have to be... Let me check here. I'm way late on that. Like, for now, I could warm up one of my starters. I don't think there's anything that would make it difficult to set up when you're actually playing, but when you're simulating, it probably gets tricky. Can you guys believe the Braves actually won the World Series this year? I still like... The Braves really did that. Ronald Acuna tore his ACL. They made 4 trades and won the World Series. I still can't believe it. And they sure nailed those trades, too. I mean, Adam Duvall had, I know he was a big part of them kind of taking over first place and getting things back on track. And then Jorge Soler, obviously, in the playoffs, hitting those bombs. Yeah, when he hits the ball, you don't see it again. Jock Peterson, he's solid. And then, I mean, as a Twins fan, I know you're never really sure what Eddie Rosario is going to do. He's a really streaky player, and he might go and flail at a couple of pitches outside of the zone, but he also might hit it like 450 feet. And Rosario is so big for them. Like, they traded for 4 guys who all did a really good job. That is so... statistically unlikely. I could see Rattler going to Texas Tech. What about just Texas? Rattler to the Longhorns. Gonna turn them around. Why is Chirino still out here? I need to pay more attention. One more at bat, I guess. Yeah, the 5th starter problem is a decent one to have, and I think we'll find a good solution.
Now batting, third baseman, Ben. Your attention, please. Now pitching for Colorado, number 62.
All right, let's see Touki Toussaint get a few good innings here, hopefully. An interesting question. Do Beltran, Altuve, Correa have Hall of Fame consideration given their cheating? I don't know how that plays out long term. I'm really not sure. Left center drilled. That'll plate 1. Ooh, maybe not. Adam Hazel. He had a diving catch against me in that playoff run at the end of Season 3. Revolving door, hot hand, 5th starter. Yeah, I mean, it's the 5th starter. It's not like this position's going to make or break anything. I think the hot hand approach, like Like a running back situation is how we'll treat it. Man, that was a good pitch. I wish you went after it. Beltran had such a long career. And I feel like whatever case he had, a lot of people would have had their minds made up by the time he was ever with the Astros. So it's all about if that hurts the image enough. Texas has a good freshman quarterback. Gotcha. I know they made that change around the beginning of the year, playing Casey Thompson. But I know they've had a tough stretch of games lately and haven't really been able to win any of them. Man, Tukey is throwing really good 3-2 pitches here. Adam Hazley just keeps fouling everything off. Fastball. Bang!
The center fielder, number 1, Kyle Lewis.
Oh, yeah, I know Cards started beginning of the year. They don't want me to pitch to Kyle Lewis. I'll probably have to agree. All right. Can we get a double play ball now from Josh Bell? Ooh, he had a nice 2023. 304, 25 homers. I wonder if that was with Washington. So I know he's not one you want to miss with the curveball against. And it just couldn't have gone any better. Tukey gets out of the jam. Fire Sark already? Wouldn't they have to eat a bunch of money? I feel like Sark just got there. Well, I know it's his first year.
Your attention, please. Now pitching for the Mariners, number 52, Nick Margavage. Leading off the Colorado, the shortstop, Trey Turner.
How's the NBA season going so far? I haven't watched a ton. You know, I paid a little attention to the Wolves at the beginning. Like, hey, is this the year? Dunno, but I think Anthony Edwards is a pretty outstanding player, and he seems like a really cool personality as well. Like, all his media interviews that I have seen are like must-see TV, like worth paying for. Ooh, I didn't want to check. I wanted to go after it.
The first baseman, number 23, Ty Frank.
Could Correa actually go to Detroit, though? Are the Tigers going to spend money this year? Warriors are back. Does everybody still hate the Warriors? I mean, they had a down stretch.
The batter, number
So are they still like the villain? I feel like now without Durant, they wouldn't be the villains as much because it's mostly like a homegrown team. Who does everybody hate right now in the NBA? Is it the Nets or the Lakers? It's still the Nets? Okay. As a Pelicans fan, I hate the Pelicans.
the designated hitter, Colton.
How are things going with Zion Williamson? There's a base hit. I'm not going to test third base here. I'm not too greedy.
Now batting, number 3.
All right, Dominic. Let's see if we can make something happen finally. Oh yeah, the Lakers brought in Russell Westbrook. How are they all playing together? I know sometimes it takes a while for those teams with all the stars to figure out how to find their game, especially when a bunch of guys want the ball. I came here to get away from the Pelicans. Well, New Orleans doesn't have a baseball team yet. I'm sorry. Imagine a baseball team in New Orleans. Oh, I should have sent the runners. I messed up, but it's okay. Good to go.
The right fielder, number 9, Brandon Nimmo.
Have the Thunder gotten a chance to use any of their, like, 48 first-round picks on their rebuild yet? How's that process going? Base is juiced. Oh, man. I couldn't let that one go. Still just a solo homer is all we got. Tampa Bay needs to move. Move Tampa to New Orleans. It'll be hot and humid, but maybe you can actually play in an open-air stadium. The Trop is done. Is Tropicana Field not like downtown Tampa Bay? I'm not I don't always know where everything is. Like in the NFL I got a better feel for it. Oh yeah, it's in St. Petersburg. Is it like how San Francisco plays in Santa Clara, like what is it, like 40 minutes away? You see the Bears, I think, what, they buy a bunch of land or whatever in a more suburban area, and they would move away from Soldier Field.
The left fielder, number 10.
Now, that's usually the move for, like, the new team facility. Like, the Twins, or the Vikings facility is, I don't know, 20 minutes or so away from downtown Minneapolis, maybe 20-30 minutes. Drove past it 1,000 times. It's super nice from the freeway. Oh yeah, we all know the Jets and Giants stadium situation, the New Jersey Giants and Jets. Oh, another perfect fastball from Tukey Toussaint.
Now batting, the second baseman,
I'm throwing that curveball again. I feel like Toussaint is going to win that 5th starter spot. I think he's got the most potential in that role. That's popped up into shallow right, and it's been a pretty good outing for him. Hey, Kane, what are your feelings on the Ravens? I think the Ravens are one of the better teams in the AFC, separating themselves from a few others. I think they'll be in the #1 seed conversation.
ladies and gentlemen.
I think they're the clear best team in that division. I expect them to win it. They're a half game up right now on the Steelers by virtue of their tie with the Detroit Lions. Their win against the Vikings was pretty big. I think the Ravens are in really good shape overall. Whoops. And I think the Ravens have a good chance to make a run this year as well. There are some other teams I'm just not sure about at the moment. I talked earlier about the Bills a little bit, about how I'm a little hesitant on them making a deep playoff run right now, just because they've only played 3 one-possession games and lost all of them, and they still have 2 to go against the Patriots, who are playing so well. And I think that there's been a huge reshuffling at the top of the AFC, and now there isn't a top team. You know, that's where we're at trying to find right now, is who's that number 1 team. And the Titans are 8-2. I mean, their win percentage, they're ahead of everybody else. They've won 6 straight. Oh, wow. You got away with that one. Yeah, I think some people are sleeping on the Chiefs a bit now. I still think there's some concerns with the offense, and the defense obviously will always have concerns. But I still think they win that division. Cowboys, I think, are really, really good. I kind of feel like you could have seen this coming in the NFC East this year, but I, like everybody else, kind of gravitated towards Washington when the gap was never that much between them and any other team in the first place after going 7-9 last year. That's gone. Don't know what I'm pointing at, but it's a homer for David Geronimo. Is that a pseudo-wudo in the background? It sure is. My wife got me that. I don't know. He's one of those Pokemon that I think like everybody hates, so I kind of like him, just to balance things out a little bit. Everybody hates on my my fake rock here. But he's not even a tree. Like, that's the whole point. He's not meant to be a tree. He's meant to be a fake tree. What's my fancy cocktail order cane? I don't drink. I don't have one. So I would just default to blackjack and ask him what I like. Man, I feel like I'm just ahead of that curveball time after time. Yeah, when I get fancy when it comes to drinks, it's me literally getting ginger ale for Thanksgiving. Because otherwise, I just drink water. And then a couple times a year, I'll get like root beer or ginger ale when I'm feeling like it's a special occasion. You know, Super Bowl, Thanksgiving, Christmas. That's when I'm like, all right, I actually want to have some root beer. But no, never really been into the adult beverages. What Pokemon plushes you got back there? So I got a decent collection back there. A little off screen, but I do have a Torchic, Decidueye, Sudowoodo, Pikachu, and Eevee riding a Wailord. And then a shiny Umbreon. A Japanese edition shiny Umbreon. Which is my favorite shiny. I want one more inning here from Tucson. The walks will happen. It's fine. Let's get Sir Anthony Dominguez warmed up, though. Patriots defense got me 34 in fantasy last night. Yeah. And, whoa! I think that might legitimately go 700 feet. 440. That ball was demolished. Tom Murphy. Oh my. What just happened? I think there might need to be a PED test after this. Right through the palm tree. Huh. We move on from that. It's 2-2 now. Toussaint is auditioning for a starting role. Starters don't only pitch 36 pitches. We keep going. Oh yeah, we are going to see some Gomber. You know what? I will get him in this game just so we can compare. And hopefully they don't score a bunch of runs and limit us to only seeing one inning of him. But now it's not looking too good. Yeah, we're just cruising along. Tukey walks a guy and Tom Murphy takes him deep to the interstate. That's how I feel I was here in the stream. I was talking about, like, ginger ale. I was that guy driving down the interstate, and then Tom Murphy smashed out my passenger window. And things are falling apart. I like the Christian Javier comparison, and hopefully it works out like it has with Javier. He's really good. I'm a big fan of those Astros pitchers. I like him and Framber Valdez. These guys are pretty reliable overall. Guys, this will happen with Touki Toussaint. Out of nowhere. It's just, what do you do? That's 5 straight reaching. Oh yeah, Garcia as well. That's true. Well, you remember when I said I didn't want them to build up a lead and then we don't see much of Gomber? Like, that's exactly what's happening right now. Right before our eyes.
Your attention, please.
So, that is going to do it for him, but we're still going to see at least 2 innings of Austin Gomber, considering Touki Toussaint didn't record an out. I'm trying to treat him like a starter, and starters don't leave after the first couple mistakes. Now watch Gomber just strike everybody out and start to swing the conversation in his direction.
The batter, the right fielder.
Can't wait to see Devers crush 50 homers and Coors. Oh, it's going to be awesome.
Pinch hitting for the Mariners.
Hanser Alberto.
Hanser Alberto.
Oh, I would totally consider Gomber as a starter as well. It's a legitimate 3-pitcher competition right now. Him, Gray, and Touki.
Pinch hitting for the Mariners.
I haven't been pinch hitting. I just realized that. I am not distributing playing time the way I should be. I've been so in the zone, though. I can play this game on autopilot. Like 11 hours could pass. I wouldn't even notice. Dude, Gomber. This is really good right now. He wants the curveball again. Would Dom steer us in the wrong direction? All right, we'll go change up. I wanted to go fastball, but his is nothing special. Just kind of a ground ball pitch. Ooh. Yeah, that's a good inning there for Austin Gomber, and the timing of it couldn't be better.
Your attention, please. Now,
All right, a lot of backups.
number
Maybe I should make some subs.
Sosa.
Let's get... Can you play third base? Todd Sinigi.
For Colorado.
Righty with a little bit of pop.
Todd.
Some position flexibility. Down 3. Don't like that call. I feel like the Angels have gone all in when they went and got Rendon to add to Ohtani and Trout. Like, what do the Angels need? Another star or, like, 3 solid role players? Because I feel like the lineup, I mean, you got a few stars to worry about, and then you feel in the clear. Maybe David Fletcher, you know, gets a couple singles off of you, but you usually are fine. They did get Syndergaard. Yeah, they're giving him a chance. That's not a bad move. I don't know how much they paid either. Keep hitting the bullpen. Yeah, let's go Austin Martin. He can't play second base. Yeah, he's got this weird position deal. He plays center and short. Like, if I can't play a position, you know, where does the best player in, like, middle school play? Probably, like, shortstop. Yeah, that's Austin Martin. He only wants to play, like, the highlight positions there. 1 year, 21 mil. That's a big prove-it deal. That's no joke. Well, the Angels have a couple more good hitters. I mean, Jared Walsh had a pretty good season. Lifted by Hampson. But nothing special. Out number 2. I know I remember a game, Justin Upton hitting a grand slam against the Twins this year. On the Robbie Ray hype train. As an Astros fan, I have really enjoyed Angels pitching over the years. Thank you for chiming in. Yeah, and Rendon I know missed some time too, like health-wise. I'm not sure where he's been for the last year. Always a tricky one to figure out. Bad swings. Let's try to do a little player lock after this too. At least a little bit.
Your attention, please. A defensive change for the Rockies.
Not this week, Chance. Not this week.
Number 49, Todd Zinnig. A defensive change for the Rockies. Now playing second.
Viking Packer week.
Number 1.
I feel like the rivalry has lost a lot of steam because the Vikings are just good one year, bad the next year, and I think in a couple of their good years the Packers were down. We'll see. I'm not getting my hopes up, though. Not yet. They haven't earned that yet.
Shortstop,
J.P. Crawford. Now, you gotta like the nucleus the Mariners have here. I think they really got something nice with a lot of these players.
Now batting, the catcher.
And now we try to avoid Tom Murphy sending someone to the auto body shop. Late to stream. What's the highlights? You know, mainly it's that Rafi Devers is literally the best player in baseball history. Is the only conclusion to draw from this stream. Well, Gomber has certainly settled things down.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please.
Keenan Middleton. I remember playing against him in a game not long ago, and I had some problems with him. All right, I'm going to take Dom out. I just haven't done anything with him today, and I'm going to bring in... Let's kick it off here with Zach Veen. First round pick in... What year was it? 2019, 2020 for the Rockies? Give the fans some offense. So a high 90s fastball, slider, change. The other way goes Veen. Hit pretty well, and it's out of reach. It's down on the warning track, and he'll lead the inning off with a double. Good effort. Got the jersey dirty.
Now batting, the right fielder, Brandon Nimmo.
All right, Brandon Nimmo. I'm going to pinch hit for him as well. Just getting a look at more players. Let's go Dom Thompson Williams, all right? I've hit with him before in my Rule 5 rebuild on the second channel. He's got a chance to be a bench player for us this season. First AB with him. Again, we're going to deep left field. But this one's caught.
The center fielder, number 10.
Now, who do we bring in for Reynolds? Let's put Austin Martin out there.
Number 8,
You like his warm-up swing?
Martin.
Oh, I know. This game has so many of the small details. It impresses me every year. And this is a world where I feel like video games often gloss over the small details. Or they only have small details and don't have anything of true substance. Easily the most immersive sports game I can think of. Although maybe you've played like PGA Tour in 4K and it's a little bit better there. I don't know. I played it on the Switch. That was a terrible swing by yours truly. I do think it's Ichiro's pre-pitch swing, yeah. Which we're doing here against the Mariners. Of course. Ah! Way too late. Do I pinch hit Devers? No. No, he's new to the team. I'm getting used to him. Devers to right center. And the game is over because I have not been hitting all that well. My timing is just a little bit off to where I'm ending up with a lot of like bad early swings, bad late swings. Not enough good And very few perfect swings today. I'm going to do a couple more player lock games, though, and try to figure it out. But I do want to stream more of this. And I'm going to try to do it again tomorrow. That'll give me a lot of stuff to edit on Sunday. And then I can put together the spring training video. Hey, Nathaniel, I'm glad you could stop by. Appreciate it. So basically, Tukey lost us the game. He would certainly have a large slice of the pie chart of blame, as they call it over on Score North. Group of people that cover the Vikings and do a pretty good job. The pie chart of blame is a very good concept they've come up with. So if you had a pie chart of blame here, how big is Tukey's piece? I think like half is his and half is mine for just like not hitting the ball better. So what I think would be fun here for player lock is if I changed up the lineup temporarily just to get another player out there to get some at-bats. So let's try one with Dom Thompson-Williams here playing in right. And then I'll just, I'll change it back. But this is a nice way to get him a couple ABs. Although player lock spring training might not be the best because they might pinch hit for him early on. Wait. Oh, we're at home. That's why. Thought we were on the road for this game. All right, Dom Thompson-Williams. How is Devers doing? He's been great. I've already hit a few home runs with him. Hasn't taken long.
And now, your 2024 Colorado Rockies.
All right, and here we go. Rule 5 pickup, Dom Thompson-Williams. Facing Brandon Woodruff. No pressure. I haven't invited Schaefer yet. I'm still debating that. But I think we all want to see where he's at. So I think I will, and we can focus on him more. Maybe in my next stream I want to do tomorrow. I gotta pull those. Yeah, a 1 year on Devers would have been more realistic, or like an all-out 5-year deal for more money. But this is where we're at. See, I'm late again. I'm gonna take some practice hacks before I stream tomorrow. Ugly. Do I think the Yankees will make the trade for Matt Olson? I mean, I wouldn't put it past anything for the Yankees. I mean, especially with how desperate they probably are and how disappointing the last decade has really been. I see them trying to pull out all the stops to try and get back to the top of that division and be in a better position to chase a championship. I don't think keeping Rizzo and Gallo is quite enough. Oh, and Tukey Toussaint gave up that home run to Rowdy Tellez.
Now batting, right fielder, Dom Thompson-Williams.
Late. Hopefully we've done enough to get this team to the playoffs now. I've tried doing a lot of things, and a lot of them are working. You know, we made some good pitching acquisitions. It's just been all about getting the offense on the right track. And we finally got some progress last year. I'm sure good at going to left field right now. That's 3 flies to left.
Your attention, please. Pinch hitting for the Rockies. Number 13.
Now I got Zach Veen in here. Man, I was watching this when my flight left Chicago a couple hours ago, and we're still cruising after I just got off the plane in Denver. Yep, having a good time. You know, time flies when I stream, honestly. It's been 2 hours, 41 minutes. It doesn't feel like it. I feel like I've just gone live. My first stream in this series, too, in a while, so definitely feel fresh. And I want to do another one tomorrow. Ooh. 3-2 to Veen.
Now batting, center fielder, Reynolds.
Now we go to Brian Reynolds. He's under it here. It doesn't fall in. Let's do another player lock game.
Number 11.
It didn't warm up anybody by default.
Now pitching for the Rockies.
I'm just going to sim this anyway. Alrighty, we lose that game. I want one more at least. I want to get some more hits. Tyler Glass now. Give me a David Geronimo game here. Good night from Romania, Kane. In chat, just past 1 a.m. Tukey is out. All hail the reign of Austin Gomber. Hey, we'll see if Tukey has something to say about that. You have a good night, Springy. And I will be ending stream sometime soon, but I appreciate everybody hanging out today and getting through some more spring training here with Colorado. I like to do some more streaming of the real games here in the regular season as well. This is only spring, Colin. That's much better. David Geronimo. Hard turn. We would have gotten there, too. Your team is amazing this year. It looks pretty good and promising.
That is it. The shortstop, Trey Turner.
Ooh, Trey gets a hold of one now. Not that far. What's the plan after dinner, Kane? I'm going to be making some tamales. I wasn't ready for that, man. Gonna have some tamales, some rice, some queso. Gonna have to cut this one off here. Yeah, I mean, I never get those pickoffs, and you know, if you're not ready in that split second, you're out. I was thinking about tamales. Griffin Canning on the mound. We're already behind 0-2. Ooh, good pitch. Tough one. That didn't last long. All right, now we're facing Chris Bassett.
The left fielder, number 22, David Geronimo.
Can you strafe when catching a fly ball? There's no way to, like, control that. I see what you're saying. Yeah, in the field, it can be tough there. Yeah, I see what you're saying. You don't have quite that level of control. Dude, that was almost the same at bat as the last one. I should have struck out there. Yep, Geronimo did end up winning Rookie of the Year. He had a really good stretch to end the season. Just fouling off everything here.
Outside, that's a ball.
What do I use to hit? Directional settings, no PCI. It's literally just hitting X and trying to time it up right. Almost down the line. I have the most simple, like, ratings-based hitting settings. That's how I like it. I always struggle with that one on the inside.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention.
All right, we're going to get into another game. I don't want to end on an offer. Well, I guess I had a hit, but I want to end with a better one. My favorite hitter and pitcher I've played with, I mean, today, Devers. Outstanding. And then the pitching, I mean, I really enjoyed pitching with Austin Gomber in those 2 innings, and I'll probably want to make sure that I get a bunch more with him in Toussaint and John Gray to see who really is the best 5th starter on this team. It's kind of wide open right now. Give me a Devers game here. Yeah, inside fastballs, you got to be ready so quick to do anything with them other than follow them off. Let's see if I can get a hold of one more with Devers, though. It's gone well to this point.
The third baseman, Rafael. Devers.
99 power versus righties. So all you got to do is square it up just a little bit. Yeah, closed stances can be kind of tough, and you don't come across them very often, but overall, I've felt like I've hit pretty well with Geronimo, and I've gotten better with him. You don't come across stances like his too often. Ah. Inside fastball got me again. Let's do it again. Oh, we're going to defense.
Batting ninth,
Haven't played much defense at all.
Micah Adolfo.
Probably actually going to see him play mostly first base. But he's listed at third right now.
The bat, the third baseman, Rafael. Devers.
Hey, Vet, how's it going? Ooh. Just hitting the occasional home run, but having kind of a rocky hitting episode. Well, pun unintended there, but enough have been intended. This guy is so good. He is my slump buster right now in this gameplay. At least I can hit homers with Rafi Devers. And they keep missing, too. They just keep leaving meatballs for them. Yeah, there are some guys who, unfortunately, like, they're so good, but if you're not used to their stance or good with it, like, you just don't do them justice. Oh, yeah? Big Braves fan, huh? Been a good month for you. Can't believe they went on the run they did. Devers to right field. That is much better. Was that a minor league outfielder? I mean, you don't see those throws at the bigs too often. I think Devers has the kind of swing, too, that nice, big, open swing that kind of lets you get your timing back. Like, my best swings today have been with him. Oh, the Soler home run. Yeah, that was energizing for sure. That was a very fun playoff run for them. And I just can't believe the path, losing Acuna and then being third place and still being aggressive. Like, it surprised me they were as aggressive as they were, but it was a good roster. I mean, they dealt with some injuries and stuff that kept guys out of the lineup for all season. But you go out and execute 4 great trades. And it seemed like everybody took a turn kind of making up for Acuna. At the same time, there's still Freddie and Ozzie. And career year for Austin Riley, too. So, this is a deep team. As a Twins fan, it was nice seeing Rosario kind of be the star for much of the World Series. If I could add anything to the show, I wish they added tendencies for each player at some point. Some swing more, some don't hit the cutoff man much. I feel like they try to do that with their quirks. So I think just expanding upon that would kind of add a little more personality to each player. It's a good idea. For me, I would like to see them update like trade logic. Get going. I think a lot of the CPU management is where I think the game needs to get better and maybe flesh out scouting a bit more and maybe even add more stuff to the minor leagues. Even if it was just like menu-based control to be able to manage things like rookie ball and maybe have more of a plan for getting your draft picks ready for their professional careers. It's kind of a disjointed experience where you scout for a short time, you have the draft, and then you don't see those players until the next year where you assign them usually to AA. Feels a little incomplete to me. Doing pretty good, JC. How about you? I could have signed Devers, but went with Sano. Oh, man. Yeah, Sano can hit a bunch of those as well, but it's usually going to be separated by a few more strikeouts. Oh, I don't know what I thought there. I don't think anybody has a great shot of having more homers than him, barring injury or something. Second place, to me, Geronimo this year. I think he hits 30. I still wonder how they get trade logic so off in these sports games. Like, I get that, like, creating, like, assigning value is difficult, but I feel there are enough rules you could institute to make certain things not a problem. Like, and I thought they addressed a lot of this, but say like in Madden, having just really hard rules for high-rated quarterbacks, young quarterbacks, high-dev quarterbacks. Like, you can easily, with a few simple rules, take away the ability to easily get high-rated players. But I also think they need to look at the draft pick values, because in Madden, you can see it based on trades they'll offer you to guys on the trade block. They'll offer you like a 4 and a 6. Like, they don't put enough value on an individual pick, and they'll easily just say, oh, we're going to give up multiple picks for this 81 overall player. Or they'll just throw away like a 3rd round pick on a guy who has an expiring contract at the end of the year. There's just not enough rules. It's too based on overall rating. It's still way too much about overall rating. I'm glad development is part of it, but they don't value their own picks enough, is the big problem. They throw away 3rd round picks and 4th round picks. That's hit a ton. I don't think we're getting there. Ugh. Buxton catches that. Byron Buxton catches that, just saying. Would I consider trading Sir Anthony Dominguez? It would have to be because someone's pushing him out of his role, and until that happens, I don't think so. Danny Mendick just took me yard? Danny Mendick? What's going on in this stream, man? The most obscure guys are crushing me. Tom Murphy, Danny Mendick, Rowdy Tellez. That wasn't even me pitching when that happened. Danny Mendick, who bats like 9th for the White Sox. Yeah, I haven't allowed any to Daniel Camarena. That hasn't happened. No pinch hitting relief pitcher grand slams. That was one of my favorite games of the year. I happened to have that game on live as that all played out. I'm surprised I didn't cut it off because the Nationals were up like 7-0. That was a great game. Unless you were a Nationals fan. I just want the inning to be over. I mean, Danny Mendick is a fine player, but why is he launching 420-foot missiles against me? Send Kane down to AAA. That might happen. Imagine me just doing a whole season at AAA and just acting like it's normal. Or imagine me doing a whole franchise and it's just me controlling like the AAA team and I never go anywhere else. I'm just the manager of the AAA team.
Your attention, please. A defensive change.
So now we're trailing.
Now playing second base.
Tyler Rogers. So now I'm having issues with my swing here, and I'm about to face slow submarine Tyler Rogers. I hit a home run off him in this game though, because he was pitching for the Giants. So it's not my first time here. I've been here before. I also think the financial side of the game isn't enough of a part, like an owner's box type of mechanic in franchise and actually having to make money. That would be awesome. Like if attendance were truly dynamic and you had to set up promotions and stuff like that, that would make franchise really intriguing to me. Even more intriguing. I'm gonna play it regardless. Wouldn't that be really cool? Because, like, they do have the concept of budget in-game. But, like, imagine having to worry about making money during the season and getting fans to show up, especially if you're in a rebuild situation. When did the show have that? Because clearly I wasn't playing at the time. Got into franchise so late. They had it in 12 and 13? Bobblehead night, set the ticket prices. Man, I missed out. Probably weren't getting enough engagement from it, and if that's when it was in there, that would have been the time around when they moved to the PS4 era. I don't know if the console switch changed much. So I'll have 1 inning to try and fix this. Taylor Rogers. We got both the Rogers brothers in this game. I'd spam bobblehead night. Yeah, your marketing budget is just through the roof. But you got a promotion every night. Imagine, though, like 81 games. You do like 81 bobblehead nights. By like the 60th, you are running out of ideas. You can only recycle so many star player legends. You got to mix in a couple t-shirt nights, dollar a dog night. That's a popular one. I think everybody runs dollar a dog night.
The count is 2-1.
Fan Appreciation Day. Because the other days, they don't appreciate you enough. The 81st is 2 players combined into a 2-headed monstrosity. Has anyone ever done like a double bobblehead? I don't think I've ever seen a 2-headed bobblehead in my life. I know they have the sponsorships in here, but it's just not as interesting as like a double bobblehead night and then dollar a dog Fridays. Like, what about the Friday night fried fish? That's foul, right? That's foul, right? Zach Collins. Dude. Anybody can take me yard today. You watching at home right now could hit a home run off of me. I do need to update the profile picture. I think for this series, we go to like David Geronimo. Those are not the doinks they're used to hearing in Chicago, as the White Sox pull ahead 9-6. I'm being sent down to AAA, everybody. I'm sorry. I'm not even sure I'm going to make it there. Yeah, you can read that body language. If they're not going after the ball, well, it's either a foul too far out of play or it's just gone.
I got to count 2 and 2.
Boogie Turner would definitely take me yard right now. Uh-oh. We're throwing home. Not competitively.
Your attention, please. He's hitting to the right side.
Steven Souza.
3. Steven Souza Jr.
Who is getting some key at-bats for the Dodgers in the NLCS. Jammed him in the shallow center. Oh, come on. Mercifully, the 8th inning isn't over. That was the second out.
Now batting. The left fielder,
Luis Gonzalez. Now, this isn't the Luis Gonzalez who walked off the Diamondbacks in the World Series 20 years ago, right? I must admire your persistence. I'm so competitive and hate losing, so me trying to rebuild is so tough. That's because I'm too in love with the process. Wins, losses, all of it. Oh, man. Get it? Sell down? You're good. Yeah, he walked off the Yankees, playing as the Diamondbacks 20 years ago, or whatever it
Your
was.
attention, please. Now pitching for the White Sox. Number 60.
All right, we're only down 4, and I'm playing like garbage today, so I'm sure I'll pull off the comeback here in no time. What am I doing? The ball is in his glove. It's in the catcher's mitt, but I'm swinging. That's a little bit better. Just seen this. Just wanted to say Petrovsky for MVP. And that reminds me, Ben, a new episode of the Giants franchise is going live as soon as I'm done. You might be wondering, wow, we're waiting on a video just to watch you strike out and not be able to swing the bat? But it's done. Devers has played well, Ryan. Rafael Devers. A walk. So as soon as this game is over, I will put up the new video and I'll be ending the stream. We'll see when it ends. Who are you cheering for? Late.
Now batting. The third baseman, Brandon.
That's a better swing into center field, but it won't get us a step further. A step further to that Giants video going up. That's about it. But here's David Geronimo. I've hit a home run with him today. I had a couple good swings. All right, couple inside here. I should get something good. Sit for a power swing. Pitching-wise, Gomber, but it was short-lived. Nothing's been too special. Geronimo will do it again. That is just like the home run I hit with him earlier. Left it up there, 2-0. 434 feet. Steagles fan, thank you for the super chat. And Ben, thank you as well. Any games I'm waiting for? You know, I think I got enough to play right now. I still might pick up Riders Republic. But I'm playing through Persona 5 right now. And then I'm going to move on to Ratchet and Clank and Ghost of Tsushima. And that should keep me busy for a while.
Your attention, please.
I'm also playing through Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity on Switch. But I'm always keeping track of what's coming. Oh, and Forza Horizon 5 is out, and I've played that for a few hours, and it's just so good. It's Crochet, you're done. I'm a strike away from being done. Ah, you're right. But hey, we got a Geronimo home run in there. Hey, if it weren't for that home run off the foul pole, I think we'd be doing okay. We still going. Playing through Brilliant Diamond? Yeah, I might look into it at some point, but I'm gonna be late probably to the Gen 4 remakes. That was a fun stream, everybody. A few hours of baseball is always a good time. Thank you all for spending some time here with your Friday night. I do truly appreciate it. Thank you for the support. And I'm just making sure this uploaded successfully. It's not showing HD on that screen. Okay, I think it should be good. If I refresh. That is weird. It should be fine. All right, I'm going to link it to you now as I get this live. The video is now up. There is a link. Pick whichever one's your favorite. And that is the first playoff game in the Giants franchise rebuild. Appreciate it, everybody. It was so fun. I think we'll do it again tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your Friday, and I'll see you next time.